Look,
He
if you
lost,
can
and
get,
you see
if you can,
the damage that has been done to the environment ever since then. Imagine.
we're not even the biggest polluters and we're not even in the top five.
That's
But
true.
in regards to the popular vote, if you got all of California, all of Illinois, all of New York to vote one way, it would be very difficult for the rest of the states, minus Texas and Florida, of course, to even get close to the number. It would just be damn near impossible due to the population centers of the United States, which is the reason why the Electoral College, in my opinion, works out. Each state has a voice, and it's according to their representatives and the Senate. And I think that now I think they need to redo it and redo a census and get the correct count. That's my personal opinion.
But since
But
the always
outside of that, the Electoral College for a presidential race is the right way. Now, when we're talking governorships, like if you did an electoral college by county, that would be the wrong way to handle that. Which is why every other race is basically popular vote.
There is no
But I
need.
agree with the electoral college.
I don't. There's no need for it.
There
If you're
isn't.
if
So
you're
wait,
trying
wait,
to
wait. If
no,
if
if
your vote can be canceled, think about the population areas. Think about what the population areas are. We're literally Florida, Texas, California, Illinois, New York. 5 states. 5 states. So 5 states should determine for the other 45 who should be president of the United States.
It's unfair.
but it was all based in racism why the electoral college was even
Yeah.
No,
created.
it wasn't. Not the electoral college. What
The
we're talking
vote
about when we get into redlining, see, when we get into redlining, that doesn't necessarily need it wouldn't have much to do with the electoral college, which is why the census needs to be redone so there can be a recalibration of House members. Senate will remain the same, but of House members. That way, we get a more accurate count regarding the electoral college. However, that's not what redlining did. What redlining did was basically canceled the black vote per state, locally and for that state. And it was an awful thing that was done, and that shit needs to be fixed too. Now, I think there needs to be a federal mandate to prevent redlining, and I'm not a huge fan of any type of federal mandate, but unfortunately, we got black people stuck in areas where their vote basically doesn't effing count. That to me is a problem. But nationally, as the electoral college goes, it's all about the population of the state, and you can always move and shift population centers. Just my opinion.
See,
I guess the point is that if it's supposed to be a democracy and
It's not. It's a republic.
and is a democratic republic, and we try to say that we have a democracy, so we need to live out what we claim we are. So my
There's
point
only one thing. Go
is
ahead.
that the people, if the people vote, and this is the popular vote, and like you said, if you spread out, oh, you have some states that are more populous than others. But the thing is that not everybody in each of those states are even going to vote. So when
Whose
you
fault is
start,
that though?
right, but so my point is that it still should be based on the popular vote. The electoral college are supposed to, from my understanding, that they're supposed to vote the way that the constituents in their area have voted, and they don't.
That's not the way it actually works.
If you're
Each
elected,
state has each state has its own voting rules on what the EC does. Every single
that's
state,
true.
which is why Nebraska is very, very different. New Hampshire is very, very, very different. And there's one other state I can't think of it right offhand, but they're very different. And um, that the number in the electoral college literally represents the representatives in Congress, which is why it's so important to get the census right. It's really important to get the census right. Now, the democracy piece of this, the people speak piece of it is a how many representatives you have representing your state, and all of them are done by popular vote. Governorship, popular vote. State seats, popular vote of the voting district. Senate, the popular vote. There's only one position in the entire country that's done via the way of the old republic, and that is the presidential seat, because that person is supposed to, and I'm putting quotes around it, represent the states. The problem is we've gotten so far away from the way the United States was originally set up. We've gotten so far away from it with with the extra taxing, like we're overtaxed. We should only really be taxed by our state and not the federal government. The shit is just all kinds of wild now, and the government's entirely too big. But we've gotten away from the way it was originally designed, that, you know what, maybe you could be right. By the way we're being run now, maybe the popular vote should be it. But again, that president is one person to represent all 50 states, which is why the electoral college is so critically important. But again, we when was the last time we did a census in 2022, and that's not even accurate because of COVID? Come on, man. They got to get this shit right. Pardon me, I'm sorry. I got off on a tangent because that really, like, the way the United States is set up right now really upsets me. It's like, man, because it's hard for black people to really make change because of the way it's set up. Now that we have the knowledge, and now that we actually have a few resources, if we were able to truly combine the resources and do things the way we could in regards to unify, again, we're not a monolith, but I believe that there can be some unifying points within all black folks due to the experience.
Yeah,
We can't do that right now, but it is what it is. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent. It's something about politics that really pisses me off sometimes.